Fear is a curious thing, whether it be as simple as fear of the monster or as complex as fear of the mirror. These fears define us, shape our lives, and control our choices. But imagine if your very decisions were predetermined, out of your control. What if, when you were running from the dragon, fleeing from the hydra, stealing the last baked good from the pantry, you were doing what the creature wanted? A life beyond your control, choices you had no part in making. That is what you should fear. And let us journey into that fear and imagine for a moment. Once upon a time, there lived a boy, born upon the waves and destined for greatness. The chosen one, they called him, for he was the one who was destined to bring the light. And when they finally found him, after searching for so long, and told him of his destiny, he rejected it. He was a fisherman of the sea, and should remain as so. And they left him there, by the water. After all, destiny would take care of the rest. They came in the night, with the trembling waves, horned creatures in their hundreds, spears as sharp as dragon fang, eyes like pools of midnight. They attacked the boy's village, laying waste to the town he called home. The people who brought him up raised him as one of their own. But still, even as fire came down like the rain and ash soaked his eyes, he did not touch his sword. He would not fight. He would not submit to destiny. He hid through the night, and come morning, the Dark Ones left, hungry for sustenance elsewhere. The boy looked for survivors. He found none, and so he wandered the world, oblivious to the plight of his fellow humans. He knew it was his calling to take up a sword, to fight and lead his people to victory over these Dark Ones. But something inside him, something he could not understand, he despised that, the idea that his life would be decided for him, that his actions were not and could not ever be his own. And the boy saw something when he looked into the sky, translucent strings in the mist leading to him. He hated those strings more than he could put to words. He would be no one's savior, no one's puppet. It made him sick to his stomach, and so he fled. Through the screams by day and the arrows in the night, he fled, he ran, and he left. The false knight, they named him. For though he was the chosen one, he had never touched the sword, and if he had any choice in the matter, he never would. And the strings followed. For years he ran from them, through the storms, the winters, the desert, the ash. No matter where he went, they would appear, these Dark Ones, like they could always know where he would be going. And they would come, and they would attack. And as the people who gave the boy shelter were put to sword, he would turn, and he would run, and the strings followed. And as people screamed for aid when their flesh was torn asunder, he closed his ears. And when they were strung in front of their homes for their kin to watch, he closed his eyes. And when they asked why, he closed his mouth. One day, resting in the wood after leaving the last town to the Dark One, the boy heard music. It pleased him, and so he followed the sound through the winding vines to find a caravan. Surrounding this caravan was a group of dancing troopers who were laughing as they danced in a circle together. He walked up to one of them and asked what they were doing. Pretend, the man told him. We are a theater troupe, and we travel the world playing pretend. Those girls there, he says, are pretending to be the Dark Ones. The boy smiled at that, and just then, a taller girl broke through the dancers. Raven, black hair, and grey eyes. The younger dancers chase her, and the raven dancer runs away from them. Who is she pretending to be? The boy asked. Ah, the man laughs. She's the false knight. And then the boy laughed, a hearty, healthy laugh that seemed to tear through the wind. The raven girl stopped dancing and reached out her hand and smiled at him. Raven and the boy danced the night away. It was raining, and she was perfect in every way. With her, the boy could pretend he was not from the sea, Pretend the dark never came that day. Pretend he was not who he was. And so he traveled with her, came to love her, and played pretend. It seemed as though time stopped with her. Obligations became a feather, duty, a leaf in the wind. And although he lived among many peoples, and came to know many words and many tongues, her name was the sweetest sound, Raven. And so it came time for their grandest performance yet, a ballad at the capital. The boy protested, and called them not to go, but no one commands the troupe go where the wind takes them. That night, the boy looked up at the sapphire sky, with the familiar strings that followed him wherever he went, and for the first time, he said a prayer to them. One word, for that was all his pride would allow. Please. The performance moved mountains, laughter from the entire city. Raven played her role to perfection, and the boy could not help but be. He saw the arrow coming for her when she bowed, and he rushed toward her. He made it in time. He moved her. He stopped her. She tripped. He saw it, sure as the rising sun. The strings that had followed him since birth. That invisible string came down from the sky and tripped her, and she fell right into the path of the arrow and was no more. The troop members screamed and the capital was attacked. The dark ones raised it swiftly. False night, the people called out. Save us. The boy shut his ears. False night, they screamed. Where are you? The boy shut his mouth. False night, they shouted. Look upon us as we die. And the boy tried to shut his eyes, but his gaze was stuck on the face of Raven, with an arrow between her eyes, and for the first time, the boy felt a trembling wrath took him then, and beside him lay a sword. Destiny. He could not rise, could not fight, but he could pretend. He gripped that cold steel, that lance of death, and pretended it was her hand. He took her hand and danced. Steel met flesh in the torn ruins of the capital. The dark ones assailed him with the strength of demon hordes, but he knew their strength well. After all, he was made to conquer them. He danced with Raven in the evening night, the longest waltz yet. He misstepped at times, strange wounds appeared on his body, but that mattered little. All that mattered was her smile. And as he danced through that twilight, she smiled. She smiled the brightest she ever had before. And as they danced together, he looked up into the sky, at the strings, and they were pleased. When morning came, it was still raining. The boy was surrounded by corpses, those of his troop, of the people of the capital, and the dark ones, every single one. The remaining humans surrounded him and named him their king. At last, the false night has ended. Long live the true night. Destiny is fulfilled. The boy raised a hand to silence them. That rage he felt, it had not left him, not nearly. He remembered the strings that night, the way they seemed happy, the way they smiled, and they tripped her. He was sure of it, this destiny. This is what they wanted, so no, he grit his teeth. They could not have it. The boy did what he did best. He rebelled. He picked up the sword he used last night and plunged it between his ribs. The boy woke up, smiling. He was born again. This time, the son of a shepherd, and when he looked up, he saw strings, and the people came and told him he was destined to slay a long foretold dragon that would one plunge the sword between his ribs. The next world was different, a snow mountain. He was born tall, like a giant, and told he was destined to restore. He plunged the spear. He saw the strings, he plunged, he woke up, plunged, plunged. The boy did what he did best. He rebelled against his cruel creator, the nightmare weaver who took his raven from him. So all these worlds, all these destinies that the strings had for him, he would take them all. This would be his final gift to Raven, the grand rebellion of the false night. The strings themselves would feel his torment. And he conquered. Some worlds, he would instantly end himself to spite the strings. Others, he would wait. After all, he was beginning to enjoy this. One world he was destined to slay the evil dragon. The other, he was destined to free it from its suffering. One world, he was the chosen one. The next, the conqueror. One world, a frail youth bitten by a spider. The next, an orphan child embraced by the shadow. In each world, He would ruin them, the strings, their plans for their hero. The boy woke up in the strangest world yet. Monuments as tall as the sky surrounded him, and strange landscapes painted the city. But the boy was resourceful. The boy hid. The boy waited. And slowly, but surely, he followed the strings. The boy is me. I am here, Weaver, and I am coming. This video is sponsored by me. I started a Patreon, so please check it out for my scripts, or just simply support the channel so I can make more videos more frequently and at a higher quality. Also, join the Discord. We have fun there. Imagine, for a moment, you wake up. It's raining outside, but you don't mind. You've always liked the rain. You look upon the table, at the unfinished book, and the last words that you wrote last night. I am coming. So strange, you think. When you were writing, it's like you were possessed, not even in control of your own words. Well, no matter. Your morning is swift as usual. A run to keep in shape, a visit to the local convenience store, a hearty breakfast, and then you head back to your corner of the world. On your way back home, you think about your life. You've written for as long as you can imagine, and every time you do it, you wonder why you do. You can tell you're not very good. No one's ever applauded your work or given you an award, but still, through it all, you write. There's something about the process that transforms you. Your life may be a dull one. A cleaner's daughter from a cleaner's daughter, but each day, as you write about the dragon slayer and the sun eater, it's like you're braver, kinder, more courageous. Most people live one life, but you've lived 1,000. And at this very moment, you're stumped. Your character has fled your mind. He was your favorite. You loved that fisherman backstory, the initial impulse of making him resistant to his destiny. But something strange started to happen. Around the time that you made that arrow hit his lover, he took a different path. Yes, you were still in control, still writing him into existence, but made his way beyond the world you made for him, into your other worlds, your older novels, television, comics, everything you've ever worked on. It was you writing it all. It's strange, peculiar, how that unnamed boy made his way into works that had nothing to do. You reach your door, and the nearby window flickers. You turn, nothing. Must have been the wind. You open the door. How did it feel? Your eyes go wide when you see him there. The boy, the unnamed boy from your story, stands before you, and in his hand, your book. Tears mark his face, and a sword lies in his hand. How did it feel? Your mouth hangs open. How is this possible? You look down at the book in his hands, and words start to appear on it, as if written by no one. Your eyes go wide in horror as they write. The boy was finally here, after all this time. You frown. What is happening? Is that the boy had found the Weaver, the reason for his life of struggle and torment? No, that's not possible. None of this is possible. Your blood drops. Your heart aches in horror. Hello, Weaver, he says to you. You must have gone ill. Hit your head earlier and you're daydreaming. I assure you, he says. This is real. I see it now. After traveling through all these worlds that you've created, you try to hide it with accolades and achievements, but he approaches you, close enough to see his breath. I see you as you are, woman. A coward. A tear forms on your cheek, and he laughs at that. Did you expect pity? He continues. I know your story. Cleaner's daughter of a cleaner's daughter. He puts the sword to your neck. Do you think I care? You weave these strings, stories of the chosen one, the boy hero, the prodigy, to convince yourself that there would be any reason in all the worlds for a putrid, insignificant thing like you to think themselves special. I traveled through your worlds, your domains of creation, and in them I did not see heroes, songs of glory and tales of honor. I saw a reflection of your worthlessness. I saw you. You fall to your knees, too weak to deny his words, your words. It doesn't even matter. The sword catches blood at your neck. Now, How did it feel? Your eyes go wide. When you took my raven, did you feel power? When you ended the only person I've ever loved with a few lines. He holds that sword there, bleeding your neck. I'm sorry, no, I'm not here for an apology. How did it feel? You take a beat as he draws more. Your heart starts to palpitate. Your eyes flare up. No, this can't be happening. How did it feel? How did it feel? How it felt good to feel power over you, to rain death everywhere you went. When your village was killed, the capital slaughtered, even in the other worlds, it felt good. It made me smile to be your god. And when you slayed yourself and made your way to my other works, I was happy. Those little tantrums you made, the thought that you could do anything but what I made you do, it made me smile brighter than the sweetest sunrise. And you do smile, truly happy, for the first moment. And when I plucked that arrow from the sky and sent it toward your dear raven, I laughed from dusk till dawn. You lash out an elbow and reach for the book, and you pluck it out of his hands, unsheath your pen, and write. The boy died. He stands there, watching you. You try again. The boy is defeated. The boy went back to he grabs your neck. You bowed to your story, your upbringing, your nature, and became your destiny. He squeezes tighter. I conquered mine. He grabs the book and tears it to pieces. You wrote my story. I found it wanting. He raises the sword and brings it down. And as you lie there, light going out, you laugh. You are right, boy. You say as the light goes out. I did not challenge my nature, rebel from my purpose. I embraced it. I wore it like armor, so it could never be used against me. And I wrote the greatest character that there ever was. And the boy frowned when his creator perished, because all around him, he saw strings. For this story, I thought about revenge. I was inspired by other stories of revenge like The Last of Us Part 2, and I thought about what would happen if a character in the story felt revenge so pure and true that they would hunt down the author themselves, tearing through fiction on the way. The story also made me think about The Chosen One as a trope. While we all fantasize about characters that are better than ourselves in every way, and what that could be making out for. It was a joy to write, especially after dealing with a busy patch in my life, and some things I'd like to personally take revenge over. But please make sure to subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed, because that helps me a lot, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching.